Welcome, friends, to Dog Grooming Unleashed. We are Leigh and Michelle Caluneo. Our mission is to create a safe, welcoming space for dog groomers and pet lovers to come together to learn, laugh, and feel supported. So join us as we build a community where pet parents and groomers can come together. We also want to help groomers grow in their skills, share their struggles, and feel connected to others in the industry. So get ready to learn and laugh. We're so excited to have you here.
Welcome to episode 7. This is a good one. They're all good. This episode is hidden dangers of dog grooming and injuries that we've faced. There's many. There's many injuries that you may face, but there are injuries that we have faced in the dog grooming salon throughout our careers. Grooming dogs can be very, very rewarding, and it is very rewarding, but it doesn't come without risks.
No. And why we feel so guilty when they happen.
God, do we ever? I mean, we have an episode about that, actually, of things that went wrong in the grooming salon, what it does to us, the weight that we carry all the time. You have to get over it. You have to get over it because you got to bring that confidence to the grooming table.
But don't you feel like even when you get bit, like it's my fault. Like it doesn't matter that obviously the dog, whatever issue you had with the dog. But when I get bit, I mean, immediately I'm like, what did I do wrong? How could I have
Yeah.
avoided this? How did I learn from it? I mean, we feel really bad when
We get bit because
Yeah.
the dog is shamed and the owner's there. No, if the owner is
Yeah.
there, the owner's already scolding the dog and you're going, that one was kind of my fault and here's why.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. That leads me to my first thing on my notes for this episode of what I wanted to share. And Michelle and I, when we get together here, we don't tell each other what we're sharing. We're learning it from each other for the first time too.
We like to surprise each other. We want you to see the surprise in our face.
Well, I think it's important because it gives us the perfect opportunity to have a conversation like we're talking to a friend.
Yeah.
How would we respond to that, and, your actual reaction to it. So that's what we're bringing to the table. The first thing I want to tell you about hidden dangers of dog grooming, is one lesson that I learned very early in my dog grooming career was to never reach for the dog when the owner comes in on check-in, with the dog. A lot of people want to carry their dogs, and I learned something right away. I always ask them, can you put Fluffy down? If she's still on her leash, that's fine. Put Fluffy down. I always say Fluffy. Should I come up with a different name for a dog?
I mean, Beatrice. I mean, Fluffy, I think, is a good Beatrice.
You can put Beatrice down. But
you put Beatrice the St. Bernard on the ground.
Carrying the St. Bernard. So this particular injury happened to me. I got bit pretty bad, and I learned immediately from it, and I knew what I did wrong. I got bit right here in this thick muscle of my thumb here in my hand, and this is my right hand. I scissor, I do most everything. I'm not ambidextrous, but I was pretty laid up for a couple weeks. I couldn't really move that thumb. It's my fault. So what I did was, it was a new dog that I hadn't groomed. I do know the owner. I groomed her other dog, but this was the first time I was grooming this dog. And believe it or not, it was a long-haired dachshund, which they're usually so kind and loving, but I made a mistake. The dog didn't know me. And he was in mom's arms.
Yeah.
That was a problem. Guess where they are? They're in their comfort place, and you're you're coming into their zone. So we talked a few minutes, and I said, is there anything to be concerned about? And she said, well, he does have some mats behind his ears and all the fun things. And I said, okay, well, I think we'll be about an hour and a half, and we'll see you then. And I reached for him, and I'll tell you, long-haired dachshunds got teeth. They are meant to crawl in small areas.
Yes.
They're small dogs with big canines.
Yeah.
And I found
long.
out.
Yes, they do.
There was no growling. There was no nothing. The dog felt threatened, and he just bit me, and he bit hard. And I backed up. Did I groom the dog? No, I didn't, because I'm not going to work with a dog that already thinks, I told you.
Yeah.
I told you, you go to touch me again, I'm going to do that again. So I was like, well, that's a bad place to try to even work from. In fact, I chose not to groom the dog at all. And I wasn't mad at her. I told her, I said, we have nothing to work from here. I said, unless I bite him back, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Unless I show him I'm bigger than you. And you don't have to manhandle dogs. It's just all about building trust first. That's the most important thing. Build the trust first. So what I learned from that incident and a bad bite that hurt for weeks was to never reach for a dog from the owner. If they're holding the dog, hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
And you put Fluffy down. She feels a little less guarded if she's in your arms. Okay. And so say the owner does that. They put Fluffy down. Where does Fluffy go? Right between the mom's legs. Don't go for Fluffy
Don't go
there.
there. Yeah.
What do? You get down to Fluffy's level. You talk to mom. Let mom talk. This is going to make mom comfortable. The
Yeah.
dog feels mom's comfortable because they can sense this. You just put your hand out, whatever. See if you can get Fluffy to come to you. If
Yeah.
you can get Fluffy to come to you, yes, Fluffy. And mom says, good girl, Fluffy, whatever.
Yeah.
Usually that's the icebreaker that the dog needed.
And then they're like, okay, you're cool.
Then they're
Yeah.
like, you're cool. And then when mom leaves, continue to take a few more minutes down on Fluffy's level to be silent but in her space so she can learn to trust you. I've
Yeah.
found that works amazing, especially for dogs I haven't worked with before. And if it's a dog I have worked with and for some reason the dog is off that day, I can see it because I know this dog. So I will take those few minutes to be on their level, to talk and to, lower everything down in the atmosphere for that dog until until I would even consider picking it up and putting it on a
Yeah.
grooming table. So there's that. What do you got, Michelle?
I got a couple that I make the mom or dad hand me the dog butt first. They know they come right in and they know because if I went right for it like this, the dog is gonna try to bite me. Yeah. So they turn the dog around and hand the dog to me. And it's just like they just know automatically that that's how we do it.
And if you keep the leash, so if the dog is on their leash still, which they should be, and you're
Yes.
taking it from here, you hold that leash up
Yeah.
here. If she wants to turn around and bite you, you're leveraging that. That
Yeah.
if you feel threatened, it's not a bad idea to hold the leash up and go,
Exactly.
okay, here we go.
A lot of owners like to say, "Oh, he just nips," and that's biting. So you know what I mean. We're always like, okay, but if your dog's nipping, your dog's trying to use his teeth as or her teeth as a defense mechanism, and you
They're
want your dog to never think that that's the direction that we need to go in. So I always say, I'm setting your dog up for success. From the moment they walk in the door, from the time they leave, I want everything to be successful here. And I want it to go really smooth. Sorry, Daisy keeps trying to jump up on the bed and she keeps missing.
Aw.
Like, I don't know why she's having such a hard time.
Well, her legs are only that long.
She's
She's
got such
close to
little
you.
legs. I couldn't laugh. I didn't laugh the first time you were talking, but she just did it again. It's so ridiculous. Anyways, sorry.
No, it's good. It's good stuff.
She looks so pathetic right now. I'm sorry, I ain't talking about you.
Biggest injuries to avoid is biting, guys, for many reasons.
Yes.
Because when a dog does bite you, they do feel like I told you.
Yep.
They
And
do got to somehow turn around that trust, and it's not always easy from that point on.
And now we have an injury, and I a lot of and I'll see sometimes on pages stuff people will post their bite, and I'm always like, go to urgent care and get some antibiotics. Like you can't. A lot of people just want to let it heal on their own, and sometimes it will, but you have to take this really seriously. There's a good chance if you get bit by a dog and you're bleeding and they punctured you really well, you need to go get on some antibiotics that
They
doesn't
have a
get
lot of
infected.
bacteria in the teeth.
They sure do, and
There you
some of
go.
them, yep. And so now I'm out probably for a couple days because my hand's gonna get all swollen, and I got a bite by a
I'm
multi
losing
poo.
my movement here, and
Yep,
it's hurting.
I got a bite from a multi poo. I mean, I looked down and like a big chunk of my finger was just hanging off. And but again, I felt guilty because it was like I knew he was trying to bite me the whole time. I finished his groom, and I was like, oh, let me just get like one little spot like in your ear, and I went in for it, and he bit, and then I forget, like I pulled my finger away, and then I
Made
went
it
to go,
worse.
and then I went to go, and he bit me again, and I was like, ah, like you know what I mean? It was like,
Let
oh
go.
my, oh my gosh, and of course the mom felt awful and whatever, but I had to go to urgent care and get antibiotics. And now I just paid $50 and I have good insurance. I mean, I had to go pay for an urgent care visit, and so it really kind of screws up your whole day.
Does.
And that's the main groomer related injury or risk that we have
It's one of them. There's
that people I was gonna say that people think of, but
yeah,
there's actually a ton. So
there is a ton. It's as
yes.
simple as sometimes do you have shock absorbing floor mats in front of your tub and by your table where you
Yeah.
spend 8 hours of standing? Do you have that? No. Guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You can get joint problems in your ankles and your
Mhm.
knees and your hips. Absolutely. Shock absorbing floor mats in front of your tub,
Yeah.
in front of your tables where you stand for a long time. That's a must.
And work out. We have these weird ways that we stand all day. You know what I mean? We're kind of hunched over, and like I heard the term groomer's gut like after my first year because I was like,
Do I
I'm
have
just like this. I'm like, well, I'm middle aged. Like, what is this? And like, everyone's like, oh, you got a groomer's gut, and I was like, this is a freaking thing. Like, because I think we stand the way we stand, we
bad
don't use
posture?
it's bad posture and we're not using our core. So I've especially lately, I'm really like making a conscious. I walk every day with the dogs. I walk miles and miles every day, but it's almost like that's not good enough anymore. So
Your
I come
body's
home.
used to that, I think.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
stretch and I try and do weights. And so you really want to make sure that you're keeping everything in like good, good range of motion, that you're using all your joints and
And good
muscles.
posture, like you said.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that I keep good posture when I'm grooming is taking advantage of my electric grooming table. My
Yep.
electric grooming table goes up and down. So if I'm working on feet, I'm going to raise that up a little bit
Yeah.
so that I'm not doing that. Just that slight little bend can get to you, you
Yeah.
know? So I
Because we
raise
we'll
the
just sit there
dog.
hunched over and I'm like, well, just hit
Yeah.
your pedal, you dummy.
Yeah,
Like,
hit
why is
the
your
pedal,
table?
bring the dog up. If you're doing the face and the head, lower the pedal, bring the dog
Yes.
eye level so you're right here. And I utilize my electric grooming table very well, and I see the benefits. And I, as a groomer, I don't have a lot of aches and pains these days because I've learned what I was doing wrong and
Yes.
how to correct it. And but I have some other stuff on my list. But what do you got?
Well, I mean, these lists are long. So we get hair splinters are a good thing. So for folks out there that don't, groom dogs, we get hair splinters. I get them right on the corner of my nose, and I get them in my elbow. I did a video one time because I get in my elbow because the way I rest my elbow on the table. So we get
Yeah.
hair splinters like for real all the time. So that's a thing. We could
What
talk
do you
about.
do about them?
I pick them out with tweezers.
Then do you soak it, with a wet cloth to soften the tissue, put some Neosporin on it? What do you
Oh yeah, like I would do
I don't
Neosporin.
get them much. I think it has to do with your skin. Um,
Probably.
I don't really get them.
Yeah, it's humid here in Texas, and so my skin's always really, which I swear, like that's why everybody's like, "Oh, your skin." I was like, "I think it's a humidity." So,
Yeah.
so it's really humid here. So I get them easy. Where if it's dry in the wintertime, I don't get them as much.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
You brought some science into this
I
episode.
know, I know.
I didn't
So
see that coming.
it's because I'm sweaty all the time. So
So sweaty.
I'm so sweaty.
That's a good point. I'm glad you said it because I always wondered why some people get them and why I don't. I'm in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
It's drier there. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sure if I was still in upstate New York, I probably wouldn't get them as much.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate for protecting lungs. And that was something that when I got into dog grooming, I didn't realize was such a risk. I didn't even know groomer's lung was a thing.
Yeah.
So I think that scares the daylights out of me. Groomer's lung, if you don't know what that is, it's an irreversible lung condition that can cause, pain when breathing, wheezing, just difficulty breathing, things like that. So, and we can't really fix it. It's just from dust and dander and hair
It
that
can
we
be
breathe.
irreversible as it progresses.
Yes, yes. And so it's just, did I say reversible? It's irreversible.
No, no,
Oh,
you
okay.
did. You said
Yeah.
it really can't be fixed.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
chronic thing you get from grooming dogs, consistently. So I try to wear a mask as much as I can. And I know sometimes like for videos often I will take my mask off because I'm like
yeah,
talking. But for the most part, I like to, I keep a mask on. And anytime I do take a video where I can show that I do wear a mask, I try to encourage that. Personally, if
mhm.
I'm grooming and there's little tiny hairs all floating around my face, I don't want to be like, and then
That's right.
and
You
I
can't see them often,
yeah,
but
so
they're
I
there.
think that that's a risk that I didn't even know like existed. And so
Yeah,
that's something that we all really need to think about. And we have to protect our lungs and ourselves and our eyes and our ears.
yeah.
And
Ear
so
protection. The force dryers have a very high pitched squeal. Go ahead and order several happy hoodies of all sizes for your dogs too.
yeah,
Don't forget your dogs have extreme sense of hearing.
yes.
Way more than ours, is very keen. So protect their ears too.
I think it's 10 times. Hold on, it was in my fun facts
Ah, well, let's do
here.
a fun fact.
That was one of my Daisy. Oh my
Hold
gosh,
on.
did you see her?
She said,
she's trying
yeah, Mom,
she's
tell him,
trying to
tell him.
jump up on me. You're so pathetic. Oh
Oh,
my goodness. Life is so hard. Okay, hold on. Okay, that means the dogs can hear about 3 times higher frequencies than humans. These high frequencies help them detect small animals like rodents or hear sounds like a dog whistle that are completely silent to us. So our super noisy blow dryer might be more sensitive to it. So happy hoodies. I'm a huge fan of those. I love those.
yeah. Some dogs actually don't like them. They look at me like, yeah, when I put them on, I'm like, oh, I feel I'm like, are they going to go into like, convulsion mode here? So well, what else can I do? What I'll do is I'll take dry cotton balls and I'll get the end of my hemostat and I'll gently tuck it right into that little spot right there, not
Yeah.
down, just right in there, and keep the cotton balls in their ears. At least just mask some of that squeal of
Protect them a
those
little
ears.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the least we can do for them. But protect your hearing too. A lot of people wear noise canceling ear muffs. I'm
I
not
do.
one.
Yep.
I feel claustrophobic when big stuff's on my head. So I actually have my AirPods or the AirPod Pro and they're noise canceling. So
Okay.
I'll just put music on low. It doesn't even have to be high. That way I'm still very much so able to hear if the dog is whimpering or something. But it is noise canceling at the same time. So
Cool. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I just have the those ones that I wear over when I blow dry.
Mhm.
And that usually, and now it's like my ears are so sensitive too now. So it's like if I don't wear those, I can't even like handle the blow dryer going, you
It
know.
makes you kind of uneasy.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
loud.
No,
Yeah.
it's just too loud. So that there's, the dogs scratch us all the time. Sometimes, we leave at the end of the day and I'll just have one that jumped up on me a lot. And so I'll walk out of there and my arms are all scratched
Yeah.
up. So
From them trying like get me off the table.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, so we get that a lot. What else? What else can you think of?
Oh, another thing that I have experienced is numbness in my thumbs and my hands and even up
Yep.
my forearm from using cheap shears that were I was doing all the work. The shear wasn't doing the work. There's another danger in doing that using cheap shears that are, 60, $80 shears that aren't well balanced, which is what causes us to work harder to hold the balance of the shear.
Yeah.
But another problem with us overcompensating in our shear work is we're not as accurate and precise, and we know we need to be
Right.
accurate. We don't want to cut the dog, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cheap shears are a no-no for me, and I learned it early in my career because that's all I bought. Because that's all I thought. Well, I'm just a beginner. I shouldn't buy a good pair. I didn't know that was not true. I
Yeah.
should buy a good pair of shears because it's going to help me actually become a better groomer quickly. you
Absolutely.
know.
Yeah. It'll help you so much better with your skill.
Yeah, but it also isn't going to hurt my hand, and I had a lot of hand pain from using bad shears.
Yeah. It's true. I have one of the biggest risks in my shop is that I like to leave my vacuum draped across my shop and trip over the cords. So my best advice to people is to make sure you don't have cords draped everywhere. Put your vacuum cleaner away because that seems to
Yeah.
be my
What
thing.
it is.
I like to trip when I'm by myself. I'm like, really, just get it together. Like I should
Yeah,
record
we do
that.
have trip. Dude, we do have sharp tools in our hands.
Right.
But don't forget. So my grooming table's electric, and it's in the
Mm.
middle of my salon, so that it's like the holy grail
Yeah.
of the salon. The dog is on
Yeah.
it, lights are shining down. Okay, here it is, but the cord is across the floor, so you can get cord covers that you just tuck the cord
I
in
know.
this.
I've seen them. I should totally
Yeah,
get rid of those.
I
I
have it. I
know.
put it down, and literally, it just becomes part of the floor. So do that.
Yeah.
They're on
I
Amazon. Yeah, definitely do that.
Seriously, gonna need to be falling. I had to go to the ear, nose, and throat. I don't know if I told you this before. 2 separate times because I had dog hair resting on my eardrum. That was
Oh,
like
it got way in, and that
it
would
got
hurt.
weight in there, and this happened a couple years ago, and I got an ear infection, and I'm in my 40s, so I'm like, well, that's weird.
Right.
And I went to urgent
Yeah.
care, and I was like, my ear's killing me, and I got a fever, and they put me on antibiotics, and then it came back. I felt like I could have fluid in there. Went to another urgent care. I was like on vacation the first time. They gave me more
Yeah.
antibiotics. So finally, I was like, I need to go to an ear, nose, and throat. And he pulled out 2 little white pieces of dog hair that were resting up against my eardrum. And a year later, it happened again, and I had to go back out to him again. And so
Who
he's
would
like,
have thought?
Who'd have thought that was a risk?"
I'm so glad you said that. I've never heard of that, but it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
Risky,
What
one
a
time when I
risk.
was mobile, I had my clippers in my back pocket. I was like walking out of the house and I had all my stuff and I had my 30 blade on it and they fell out and they fell straight down and they hit my shoe. And I thought, oh, thank God I didn't break my clippers. Well, the 30 blade had sliced through my shoe and it actually embedded some of the canvas for my shoe into my foot. Got infected. Had to go. I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah. So it's a risky job.
It is a risky job.
Such a
If you're
risky job.
Michelle.
For real. I'm like, the heck is going on right now?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
that's true love, obviously, that I like it so much that I've
it is that you just
sustained
keep
all
coming
this.
back for more pain and punishment.
Obviously.
I get you. One of the things that I can think of is I've mentioned this in other episodes, but the groomer's helper system on my grooming table has saved me and the dog from a lot of injuries. And obviously, it will save your dog. Some dogs
Yeah.
will, if they can, they'll jump off. If they're big enough, they'll still jump, though they're harnessed. They'll take the table with them and they
Yeah.
smack down and on their tail. I mean, that can be
Yeah.
very big injury. But here's another thing that us groomers automatically go to do if we feel like a dog is jumping off the table where we want to catch them. Well, I've known groomers that have torn the rotator cuff
Yes.
because of that, catching the dog unbalanced and like, ah, you, ooh, back injuries.
Yeah.
Keep your floors. We talked about mats. Those mats also will keep you from slipping. Dogs shake a lot of water out of the
Yeah.
tub when we're washing. Your floor is wet, and keep your dryers away from that.
Yes.
That's a major hazard.
Major hazard. Yes. I
Yeah,
don't think a lot of people really understand what groomers do, but a lot of folks with large dog, there's such a difference between grooming a large dog and grooming a small dog,
mhm.
and there's a reason why people get burnout eventually and really don't groom big dogs anymore because it's so hard on your body. So,
Taxing on the groomer.
yeah, and that's where it's like if you have a 100-pound German Shepherd and you're taking it to the grooming salon, really expect to spend, I think, at least $150. That's a
Yeah,
big dog that's going to shed a lot even if they're well behaved. Then there's the ones that don't, right? Not
yeah.
and any big dog, so it really is just such a risk for groomers when we're taking on these really large breed dogs. It really is. It's not just getting bit. It's not just the getting
Mhm.
bit in the face, which you see on our groomers groups and things like that. A small dog can do a lot of damage. You saw with your
They're
dachshund and me
quick
and my
like little
Maltese.
rattlesnakes.
Hmm.
A small dog can get you quick, and the
Yeah.
nose and the lip.
You're
Absolutely.
usually more ready with a big one because you're a little more fearful because they are so big. And I
You're
want to say
watching them.
fearful. Yeah, we're watching them a little bit more. I mean, I've had every big dog at my shop. I've had St. Bernards, I've had Rhodesian Ridgebacks, I've done Irish Wolfhounds. Like I mean, I've done tons
Yeah.
of big dogs. And it's so much work on your body, so
Yeah.
much harder on your body. And so I think that that's something to just shine.
Brushing. You're not brushing a Shih Tzu. It takes 10 minutes.
Yes.
You're brushing a Wolfhound or a Saint Bernard, and you're brushing for 40 minutes.
Did you
That's
say
that's
Shih
a
Tzu?
lot of this. It's a lot of. And you little Shih Tzu. We
You
said
said
Shih
Shih
Tzu.
Tzu.
Somebody said Shih
She couldn't get on the bed, so now she's on my lap.
Tzu. She says, "Here I am."
But yeah, I mean, I think that's important to point out for folks that, like I said, groomers know that big dogs are obviously harder, and we love them. I mean, I love me a lab, but man, a
Mhm.
lab will
They're strong.
they're strong and usually will cause some havoc at the shop. They're big, they shake.
Accidentally, they do. Just
Yeah.
they're not aggressive typically or
No,
loud, but
they're
they
just
throw
big
their
and
weight. They throw their weight around.
yes, they're just big
Yeah.
and goofy. When we love it the way we do, it's okay. But I think for folks that just own big dogs, kind of note that a groomer can make a really good living just grooming little dogs. But if you
Yeah.
choose to do large dogs because you have a love for it, that it's going to cost a little bit more, and it's obviously going to be a little bit more hazardous for the people grooming your dog for lots of reasons. Just them sometimes. I saw a post where a dog tried to jump on a table and it looked like the big sweetest like lab type or something, Swiss mountain dog or something, big dog. It
Yeah.
went to jump on the table and hurt himself. Like she was walking him over, but the table wasn't down all the way and he just
But
decided that
he's like, I know, because they do.
they
They're like, I know
know.
I need to get on the table, and if the table's
Yes.
up, my dog even does it. I'm like,
Yes,
no, 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 no,
I
no,
have
let me put it down. Yeah.
Yeah, we have ones that stand next to the table that are like waiting, and you have to hold them while you're putting the table down, or
because
I'll
they
put it
want to
down
jump up on it.
because they want to jump up. And this dog did that and injured himself, and
Yeah.
they were very upset with the grooming shop, and now the grooming
Aw,
shop was
have
responsible.
yeah.
I mean, so it's just there's a lot of risks in all of it. So, especially with the bigger ones, it's a lot of wear and tear on our bodies for sure, and our equipment.
Yeah, you want to have spare brushes, spare blades. I always tell people that they have spares when they go out on you. You need that spare, and a brush that the bristles have now become cattywampus that can injure the dog.
Yeah.
The bristles that are now going like this instead of
Yes. Yeah.
this.
Don't use those.
Poke eyes, you can damage an eye for life that
Yeah.
way because the bristles sticking out that way. So get rid of those brushes. You see
Yeah.
the bristles start to get cattywampus in war. They're done. Throw them out.
Or you stepped on it. If you
I
stepped on your brush, you did it. Yeah.
I no,
I've never done that before.
no, me neither. Yeah, we step on everything. I mean, yeah. So, keeping yourself comfortable in the grooming salon, keeping the good posture, part of that is having the appropriate equipment to help you groom better. And there are really nice stools on wheels for groomers. I have one in my salon that you can sit to groom if that works for you in that grooming session. I
Yeah.
personally never prefer to sit. I like standing. Standing doesn't bother me. And I feel like I'm more, yeah, in control when I'm standing, but I have nothing against people that sit to groom if that's what they need to do.
I sit to blow dry. So
Yeah.
when I
What?
have big dogs, yeah, I have a stool on each side, and then I'll
Yeah.
sit, and I usually I'll prop my feet up on like the bars on the table, and
Yeah.
I'll sit to blow
And
dry
you're
just to give
resting
my
your
feet.
body when you can. You're just taking that rest when the opportunity presented itself. So take the
Absolutely.
rest if you can. Yeah.
So yeah, so it can be pretty hazardous. So protect your lungs and your ears and your eyes. Oh, your fingernails. I didn't even tell you about this one. I went to go get my nails done a couple years ago, and they took off the acrylic, and I had a hair embedded under my fingernail, and it was lifting my nail, and I couldn't even get my nails done for Christmas because I
Because
had.
they're like, oh, that's
They're like,
irritating.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, I would leave that, and I was like, oh man,
And you're like, what?
this was
What are
like
they doing here?
the first year of grooming. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got dog hair in places I never knew dog hair existed. It was funny, years ago, and we used to really groom a lot of dogs when I had assistants and stuff, and I'd be banging out, clipping nails, and the nails are always flying, hitting you in the face. And
Yes.
every time I'd take my grooming smock off, when I would finally go home, dog toenails would just fall everywhere,
Yes.
falling out of me and in my pockets, and I'm just like, ew. If I had went to the grocery store right after, I had left a trail of, like
For
Hansel and Gretel,
real.
their trail of dog nails.
So icky. It's so icky.
I'd have been the talk of the town.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Gosh.
staying safe's important, guys. So protecting your ears, protecting your lungs, your feet, have good mats, use a electric grooming table and use it to your
Yes.
advantage. Don't forget to hit that pedal when you need to hit that pedal. Do all these things because it's taxing on your body. But the truth of the matter is, if you stay in good shape, like Michelle said, try to go walk your
Yeah.
dogs, be active. If you stay in good shape and take care of your body and are conscious of these things, you can groom well into retirement years. You absolutely can.
Yeah. That's my plan. I mean, I want to do this for, the next,
That
15, 20 years. Like I want to stay. And that was my thing too. I'm like, this is my second career. Like I want to stay healthy doing this. I don't want to be like, you know, like I can't breathe because I've been
yeah,
breathing dog hair for 5 years and now I feel like garbage. So, you really want to
yeah, and
make
I
sure
can't
you're.
reverse that. I just
Hmm.
took away a good quality of life doing something that I love. It could have been prevented.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
sad. We don't always think about ourselves, but we should because we want to show up for the dogs, right?
Yes. Absolutely. We want to do a good job. So protect yourself while you're working. And if you're a pet parent, now you know how hazardous it is. And that's why it costs what it costs. But we love them. We love them so much. But yeah,
Yeah, we
it's
do.
That's why we have to charge what we charge. Because even big dogs or little dogs that are well behaved, it's still a lot of work, and so we
Oh
work
yeah,
hard. And just
absolutely.
because they're not naughty and trying to bite us doesn't mean that it's still not a lot of work or can be potentially hazardous.
Yeah, I don't have any problem charging my worth. And
Mm-mm.
my clients appreciate me, and
Yeah.
it's just it is what it is. Would you rather me quit? No, Amy, don't ever
No, don't
quit.
do that.
Yeah, okay. Well,
All
this is
right.
what it costs for me.
Yes, exactly.
They're
And you
like,
wanna feel good about your groom. Like, if you're spending 3 hours on a giant something and you've been blow drying, you wanna know that because I've had those moments where I know I'm undercharging. I know I'm not charging what I'm supposed to be charging, or I haven't raised prices because of this customer's older or something, you know what I mean?
there's
Whatever, and
always a
and you
reason for us.
yes. And then, you're going through this groom and you're like, gosh, or if you're doing multiple dogs and you are, not charging what you should be for two dogs, you're basically doing one for free.
Yeah.
How it feels when you're there basically grooming one dog for free. And you're like, well, it's taking up a lot of my time. I mean, I like to give my time too, and I volunteer and stuff like that.
Well,
So it's
you
kind of,
volunteer. That's giving your time.
yes.
You volunteer, and we both volunteer giving our time on
Yeah.
our social media platforms to actually make the videos to show
Yeah.
people how to do things safely or to advise people of things. So
Yeah.
we are giving of our time, but when it comes to charging for a service that we are actually putting ourselves at risk for every day to
Yeah.
get it done, we're not asking for much, and as far as
Yeah.
payment goes, trust me, we're not.
And we're all running businesses too. And I'll tell you, part of the reason when you talk about risks, and that's part of the reason why I haven't ventured into like a shop with staff, because I know how much more of a risk that is having staff. We're not even talking about like the taxes and all that nonsense
Mhm.
you got to deal with, but
Yeah.
like the security, Medicaid, and all that stuff, like, and then moving into like that whole portion of it. But the insurance, having other staff here, making sure you have good staff, making sure everybody's happy, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, so that's a huge risk. So props to those big shop owners
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that have a lot of staff and that do it beautifully and do it well.
I
I
have a
give you a
good
lot of
operation. Yeah.
Yep, I give you a lot of credit because that's a lot of work, and your whole life is really like you do any business though you build from the
Mhm.
ground up. You know what I mean? You're going to give
Yeah.
it your all, but it is more risky. I think that's why for me, I'm like I'm good just working by myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just because our jobs are a bit stressful and risky to begin with, and you
Yeah,
add in having to worry about other people and and making sure that they're taken care of properly and everything is covered for them, and that your environment is safe for them.
yeah,
Your salon is safe for them, all those things, and that's now you just added more responsibility.
yep,
And that's why I tip my hat, just like Michelle said, I tip my hat to professionals that are running that kind of operation, because it ain't easy.
it's not easy. No,
Uh-uh.
it's not like dog grooming is some big multi-million dollar industry. We
Yeah.
all get into it because we love dogs, for the love of pets. A lot of us do give our time to shelters, or we groom shelter dogs for free.
Hmm.
We all want to do that because we all are bleeding hearts. But
Hmm.
99% of us got into this because we love animals and we want to give them, beautiful haircuts and spend time with them, and we want to do what's best for people. And we
Hmm.
waive the risks because we know that we get to do something we love. So
Yeah, it's very rewarding. It's
yeah.
very rewarding, but not without risk, which is
Yeah.
what this episode is about. So if you take your dog to a groomer, know that they go to work every day knowing that they are at risk of being injured in
Yeah.
many different ways. And a lot of jobs are that way, but pet grooming, it's a pretty big risk. It is.
Yes. Yes.
So with that, we will
Tip your
leave it.
groomer. With that, tip your groomer,
That,
right? If you're
that-
going to a shop and there's like a tip spot, just tip your
yeah.
groomer. Yeah, bring her some chocolate, whatever. But maybe she
Yeah,
doesn't
she
like
may be
chocolate.
hungry.
She might be hungry, right? Yeah. I give her a hug. Maybe not, just whatever.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
she's
no
not a
no
hugger.
touching. I don't know.
Never mind,
Yeah.
don't hug her. Don't touch her. Don't touch your groomer, but just tip her.
It's
Okay.
different. Yeah, I agree. No, and most people do. So thank you to you pet owners out there that get
Yes.
you appreciate
Fabulous.
us and you get it, and we know we see it and we do appreciate that, and that helps us to show up better for you too. So
Absolutely.
We're all just one big happy Unleashed community.
Woo-woo!
And until next time.
Make sure you watch the next episode. It's so funny.
Oh, it is going to be so
It's going to be
funny.
so good.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
I won't tell him anything. I just said it was funny.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. We're signing off. We love you. Keep being awesome. And don't keep that leash too tight because you're unleashed.
That's right. Bye.
Bye, guys. That wraps up today's episode of Dog Grooming Unleashed. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We are truly grateful to have you as part of our Unleashed community. Don't forget, we drop new episodes every Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So grab your coffee or your clippers and hang out with us again, my friend, next week. If today's conversation made you laugh, taught you something new, or just made you feel seen as a groomer or a pet enthusiast, please take a second to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. And we'd love to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, questions, or even your funniest grooming moments in the comments. We might just feature your story or question in the next episode. And we can't wait to keep learning, laughing, and growing right alongside of you. Stay kind, stay curious, and keep grooming from your heart.